put on my tinfoil hat. That's for my Kinger plush.
Right.
Spinster quoted in the Con Squad chat, "Mommy and Daddy are fighting."
Did you guys have a fight earlier today?
It was me and I forget who now. Who was I fighting? We went to the trolley.
Nice.
There's Minty! Hey!
The Minty has
You can go on that side.
Hope you're doing a T-pose.
I have a pass.
No, I got changed. As you can tell, I'm no longer wearing a bluey shirt.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm wearing
So
shorts.
where am I going?
You wanted the stage, so you already got it.
All right, so good afternoon, Good evening, TrotCon. How's everybody doing out there? I like the enthusiasm of the yay.
You all sound so thrilled.
I think that's the mood of this con right now for some odd reason.
Listen.
That too.
I would like to remind you one thing about those conventions.
Oh,
They're basically a
Those mics are
glorified
on.
friend meet.
it is not.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Now you can hear me.
You know what
go.
actually kills conventions?
What?
You know, the lack of friendship?
It's magic.
Bing bong.
I'm so disappointed in all of you who those went to opening ceremony. I screamed at the top of my lungs, TrotCon, you bring the magic, and no one yelled bing bong.
We need Ellie here to bing bong.
We don't have the power of Ellie Ray.
But I was trying to bring that power of Ellie Ray.
She's the avatar. You can't imitate the avatar.
She told me I could imitate her.
She told you you could try to.
She lives in that event hall now.
The big unicorn yet?
A unicorn?
I imagine the big unicorn meaning the balloon.
I mean, those are.
I'm turning to you.
Oh,
This is her
no,
balloon.
he has not. Those actually are home now.
Huh. All right.
Those are the ones that my wife bought at the charity auction at Winning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
One of those is in the ceiling now, and they have made a main events hall.
Yeah, if you sit close enough to the main
Bye.
stage, you're gonna look up.
Yeah.
Yep, and they'll be there.
And by the way, Crystal, on your video, you can see when it happens.
I love that you can also see. You can also
You
see-
watch, and she moves the balloons out of the
I like
like
roll
this,
out my
and you
face.
watch the heart balloon go.
And if you look at the stage, you can see Vincent and Mitch and Tom all go like this. Wave goodbye to
I
them.
have to rewatch this video.
It looked like something out of a cartoon.
It was the I must go, my planet needs me.
So I want to welcome you all into this panel of So You Want to Be a Community Guest. It's the hard knock life for us. Seriously.
Not life for us.
It feels so liminal here. Let me go fix something.
So, in case you didn't know what this panel was, it's glad you're all here to wonder, how does one become a community guest? And that's what we're here to talk about here in this panel. And I'm very joined by most of our TrotCon community guests for this panel.
6 out of the 12.
6 out of the 12, that ain't bad.
7. Well, with you, 7 out of 12.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
One of them's being guest of honor relations, so they're a handler.
Yeah, so,
For the most slipperiest person on the planet.
yeah, that's accurately true.
No, that's fair.
So,
She keeps losing him.
Literally before I got in here, I was with Foley, and they were like, "Where's Mitch?" And they were like, "Oh, he went to go listen to a song across the street."
That sounds like Mitch.
I'm glad Mitch is having a great
And I
time.
just hear Foley say, "I'm gonna kill him."
Wow.
A murder today. One homicide, please.
Oh, I think that's only because I went up to
Let's go.
his line to get an autograph, and I was like, "Where did he go?" And Foley's like, "He was just here a second ago." And then here he comes walking back from Techie Cutie carrying a skateboard.
No.
I'm like, what?
He's fascinating because he's he's not a small man. But he has like the quiet gait of a newborn deer. Like
That's one way of putting it.
it's like he doesn't walk, he floats because you don't hear him walk away and you don't hear him come over to you.
Wow.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Are we sure he's not a ghost and he's actually been like dead for like 90 years?
No way to know.
I mean, if you were to describe him, he is a cat.
Yeah.
You
He's
look
like
up
a cat
for the
today.
cat,
So
though.
this is not the M.A. Larson panel.
He's like a cat.
Oh, yes.
So we're here to talk about what it's like to be a community guest. It's not easy. And I know you want to know what it's like to be a community guest for a convention. So we have stories.
Yes.
Many stories. Reckard is not here with me or else I'd be blaming him.
David Redford. Red card.
Red card is not red card.
Where's the picture frame?
Everything's Red Card's fault.
Oh, that's right. I am locked up in my...
You gotta let him out of the bag. He needs air at some point.
I was gonna say.
Don't worry, I supplied him an oxygen tank.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Hi, Red
Hi, Red
Card.
Hi, Red Fun fact. At dinner, the words, I wish Red Card was here. We could order him something off the kids menu.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So secretly, there's actually a transponder in here, and he can actually hear every word you're saying right now.
Good.
The man knows what he likes.
Yes.
Red Card's anatomy is like 4% blood and like 96% chicken nuggets.
You have a problem with chicken nuggets?
Amber, write that quote down now.
Straight, I forgot what it was.
It's like how it's like Oogie Boogie in Nightmare Before Christmas, but instead of being a sack filled with bugs, it's a sack filled with dinosaurs.
I don't remember what you...
4%,
I know it was 98% chicken nuggets.
No, it was 4% blood, 96% chicken nuggets.
So, I'm your host, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
Every time you all yell my name, you lose a year of life expectancy, so.
Hi Taylor.
Hi,
Hi
Taylor.
Taylor. Hi Taylor.
Most of you know me, I'm the professional Starlight Winter fanatic in the fandom. I'm the host of this panel, as you can see, you're an unfortunate host. And I run a Hey Now podcast every other Tuesday night on Twitch. You all should come check that out, because I have a few of my podcasters up here on this panel here with me. And also I run a variety of entertaining panels throughout the con weekend. This isn't one of them. This is me debating my life up here. So I'm joined up here once again by our wonderful community guests for TrotCon this year, and I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we can get into the pros and cons of being a community guest for a pony convention.
Now here's the ultimate question. Are you starting with Cosmic or Minty? And that'll tell us which one's your favorite.
Oh!
Time to pick. Let's start with gold.
Biased.
Good. Hi, everybody. My name is Laura Bestie.
Hi, Vola.
How are you guys doing? Good. I am a community guest for this TrotCon. I've also been a community guest at several other conventions, including Ponyville Cyberfest and Lake City PonyCon. And I started community guesting with TrotCon. So, actually, my very first convention was a community guest appearance. So, pass it down.
Pass it down. Well, here. Go.
I was gonna say,
Go.
like, down is this direction.
Fine.
There you go.
Hi everyone. I really love you. Like, I'm Amber Evergreen.
Hi,
Evergreen.
I'm a content creator. I do Twitch streams. I'm on hiatus at the moment, but we'll be back very, very soon because I'm trying to plan for my wedding. That'll be next year. This is my 4th TrotCon overall. I was unofficially a staff member at Trot 2022. Trot 2023, it was my first community guest appearance ever at a con. And then now I've officially been on staff. See, I have the official badge now.
Yes.
And that's about it.
All right.
My turn.
Hi, I'm Cosmic.
Hi,
Hello. Hello, Taylor. Hello, Bullrax. Hello, Amber. Hello, audience member. Hello, audience member.
Just say that.
Your audience member number 5, audience member number 7.
But yes, so I am a person who wears many hats. I'm an artist. I'm an artist. I do vending. You'll probably see my shadow box and stuff in many of vendor malls and in many of PonyCons. I do YouTube. I was in TF2 Analysis Anarchy. I am a voice actor. I am a cast member of DA Games, a cast member of Sully Games, Friendlock, so I do stuff outside the pony thing. And I create beautiful pieces of art like this. Do crimes, be guests. Which is what I'm going to tell you about today. I'm going to serve your panel. Hi, here's how you can commit crimes legally. Yes! All right, I guess down to Minty. We're going in this pattern.
There you go. There we go.
Hello, I'm Ninja Root.
Hi,
You'll never guess, but I'm a community guest here.
Yes.
Yay!
First time.
So I do fan animation and fandom. I'm also a collaborator for Bronias Reacts, a part of the Taylor's podcast. And I just counted, I was looking at a list of all the cons I've been community guest to. It's my 18th convention I'm actually community guest at. Out of 42 conventions I've ever been to, which means that 42% of the time I'm a community guest, which is terrifying, all things considered.
And it's only up from here.
It's only up for you.
Played out.
Wait till your con chair.
Well, oh no. Do you have any idea of how much of a disaster of a country I would be?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that'll be perfect.
Listen. First, we have all the themes we have for conventions are very, very boring. Like, summer beach party, you're gonna have adventure, Dungeons and Dragons, under the sea, all those themes. Like, why don't you go with things that are a bit more spicy?
Like flash rigging.
No. What about a con whose theme is the non-existent Texas superconducting super collider that never happened?
I got a better one. 4% blood, 96%.
How about that for the next year? Like, we need themes for conventions that have never been done. This has never been done. Like,
And we'll make it happen.
because here's the thing, chicken nuggets are made out of a bad part of a bird.
Yeah.
It's a
We're the bad
delicious
birds.
part of the bird.
I want a convention that's made out of the parts that you don't think are good in chicken, but when you smash them together, they make something incredible. That's kind of a metaphor for the brony fandom. All sorts of weird things that you just smash.
You're just giving me more and more ideas, Minty.
Shape it into a very appealing
Are we
shape.
smashing things
And-
together now?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to make it more
We're gonna have a
insulting,
petting
you
farm.
just make it like dinosaur. Like you're gonna think, like how insulting is it to take chicken, which it's not really a predator, it's just a bird that's lame, and you try to shape its remains into a dinosaur. Something supposed to be bad.
There are pillows and plushies of this, and I 100% would love to.
Welcome to the Nuggets panel.
Welcome to So You Want to Be a Chicken Nugget. Don't tell me, I'll do it.
There should be a convention theme where it's like, you know how in Majora's Mask there's 3 days till the end of the world?
Right.
We should,
Yes!
There should be a convention where the theme is Doomsday, where it's like, this is our last 3 days till the world blows up because, I don't know, Celestia got pissed off or something.
That sounds about right. That would be fun.
Oh my god, you're right.
Because, like, I mean,
Oh shit!
it's not just that. Remember, Bastion had the whole storyline with Queen Quake.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it on the ground.
Like, remember in 2016 when the con was happening, the convention center was in reconstruction?
Yeah.
Like, she was winning.
I mean, we're still kind of here.
We were still kind of here.
Mostly here.
Yep.
Somewhat here.
Yep. Are we?
Are we ever really here?
Physically met, yes, mentally
Given
no.
all the things that are going wrong on Earth right now, I'm thinking, is it like some kind of twisted afterlife after that one time I kind of just lived too long while driving my car? Like, did I just die and put some kind of afterlife that's supposed to torment me? And-
Remember, yeah, we were all in the TrotCon fire. You don't remember?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
No, it was the 2019 tornadoes.
Like,
Oh.
It was Harambe.
The ones called
Yes.
Oh, Harambe, yeah.
That was the ultimate.
So the first
Living in the
thing you
tunnel.
want to do when you want to be a community guest is to always stay on topic.
Yes.
Yes,
Which we never do.
Stay
Never.
on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're on introductions.
well, when I signed the contract asking me for all the things that I had to do, like, you know, I had to promote the convention, I had to make sure that everything lined up, and I did TrotCon drama, I did my panels. They never told me to stay on topic.
And then we went.
Man, I really like chicken nuggets.
Actually, let me read the contract they gave us. I don't think I have a non-disclosure agreement with that one.
I don't remember getting a contract.
What? We had that.
What did I get? I got an email. It's like, yo.
I just got a handshake deal and that was it.
So anyway, come to TrotCon. Anyways, come to Trot.
You give us panels, we give you
Oh,
badge.
that was we slept right
Are we
through.
really?
Whose phone is this one on the left side? Because their screen looked black.
Oh,
Which one?
The one over here on the left side. My left side, you guys is right.
the
Okay,
big one.
okay, let's read
Oh, that was mine.
Robin's
Yeah, screen looked black.
email that says, congrats, you have been selected as a community guest for TrotCon 2024. Please fill out this form by May 31st to confirm your acceptance, all by Google form. If you have any questions, please let me know. And it came from Dark. And I'm just thinking, nothing about staying on topic.
It's in the.
Yeah, that's not on our
That's
contract that
true.
we've written in blood.
Read between the lines.
Community guest policy and agreement. Expectations,
Oh, yeah,
obligations,
we
and
signed
yes.
that.
Attendance for the duration of the TrotCon event, participation in opening ceremonies, scheduled community guest meet and greet sessions, timely arrivals for scheduled panels, presentation and completion of scheduled panels and events throughout the event, timely wrap up of scheduled events and events throughout the event as not to interfere with
And so on and so on.
Promotion of the TrotCon event, your adherence through social media, positive representation of TrotCon in all public social media discourse, so we gotta defend TrotCon as the best convention ever. TrotCon is an event
Wait, what?
focused event.
Nancy, where are you going with that?
That's everybody naming.
Here's the thing, that's like just the first part of the whole contract you have to sign,
I
man.
guess this is part of being a community.
This is part of being community guest, like.
Yes.
Okay, so just listen, so just understand, when we ever get a contract, just do hamburger, sign here, sign date here, initial here, done.
We're getting hamburgers out of it.
Hamburgers. What?
No, we're not getting hamburgers out of it.
Chibuga, no Coke, Pepsi.
Exactly.
The best we've got is Babston actually giving us some free food once.
In the sponsor lounge.
Oh,
They did give us
They
free
did?
food. It was like sandwiches, but it was good.
But the whole idea with community guests is basically just a glorified panelist role with more contracts to sign.
And-
Wanna go in?
Okay, I'll go now.
And actually, technically, community guests are technically also staff as well, so, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
I don't think about anything else. No.
What's thinking?
I'm Hibiscus Stitch.
Hi, Hibiscus.
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 In your name.
It's Monday.
Biscuit.
My first community
Biscuits.
guest role was Sequestria Fest 2023, and I honestly never thought about doing a community guest role until I was approached by Gajinka, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to be a community guest?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." So that was my first panel, first community guest role. It was pretty awesome. Sequestria Fest gives you some really nice community guest benefits, and then you do panels, help out with a bunch of different things.
We were
It's really fun.
roommates. It was great.
We were roommates.
Yeah.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
I really liked being a community guest because I've been looking for a way to get back to the community because, to be a little serious, during, the 2020 pandemic lockdowns, it was really the online pony conventions that helped me pay my bills because I did conventions full time and then no more conventions. So all the online cons help me pay my bills, help me stay fed. So I really was looking for ways to get back to the community because like I've been in the community since 2011, but not really doing anything like bigger. But like I wanted ways to get back, and so community guests felt like the ultimate way to get back. So I've been applying where I can, doing panels where I can, because I just want to help like inspire people and give back for everything that was given to me. And everyone is great, and like yeah. So that was my serious talk.
Hello, I'm ACLP.
Hi, ACLP.
Oh, I know that's gonna happen, but yes, the first time I've been a community guest was at BabsCon 2023, and it's also I've been attending pony cons and or conventions since 2022. So I was like, wait, how did ACLP got a community guest after 1 year? So. Yeah, this is pretty much my fourth overall community guest. I wanted to do this just to contribute to the community and pretty much do some panels that can help make everyone have fun and pretty much give some of the energy to all the attendees. So yeah.
Record, do you have any thoughts? I don't think so. So, to give you kind of a day in the life of what a community guest does. We don't sleep.
Oh, yeah.
There's no such thing as sleep.
No, we sleep on our own panels.
It's true. We might be actually sleeping right now, and you wouldn't even
I only had
notice.
5 hours.
Good night.
Just like that, for example. So, to kind of give you kind of an idea of, you know, what is it like to be a community guest, and you're probably asking yourself that question of how does one end up being a community guest? Let me tell you. I do not know. But it's tradition. If you don't get where that's from, we're going to have a lecture later. So, everybody up here has contributed to the fandom in some way or fashion. I've been asking myself that question for like the past 4 years now. How did I end up becoming a community guest? Oh, just dress up in Starlight Glimmer attire and run 13,000 panels during the weekend. That'll do.
You could do more than that.
Those are rookie numbers.
I know Naomi still gives me a hard time whenever I'm at Cider Fest or at Winnie City these days.
Yeah, she should.
But, okay, in all seriousness, but, you know, a lot of us have been working on stuff that, you know, we've been very proud of and ways that we wanted to give back to the fandom. And that's kind of how you get these avenues of how do you end up becoming a community guest. It's essentially the work and craft you put into your content that you're putting in. So, for example, like, you could be doing fan animations like Minty Root over here, or ACLP who's doing SFM animation work, making plushies, doing art, and, you know, running a Hangout podcast that people somehow come and bother me with most of the time. So, but it's also about like putting yourself out there as well. Like, you know, like in the community guest application form, it's the big question of, why do you want to become a community guest? That's like the biggest selling point, is because this fandom means a lot to me, or, you know, I want to continue giving back to the community and giving attendees a fun weekend to go back to. Go back and tell their friends, like, hey, I had fun at this convention because of these community guests. And
sorry.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I didn't make that.
Wait.
I think we finally did it. I think we finally broke down.
Continue to make your point. You were going on.
Yeah, you were right. I don't know where he was going.
Casey's gone.
Really good tangent.
We broke him
I didn't know
too.
where you were looking.
Cosmic, hold that board up one more time.
Hold it up.
My nap is 100%
Okay.
ruined now. I was actually getting comfortable,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
I guess I'm gonna text Red Card that after this panel's
But yes,
over.
you were saying, like,
Um,
TrotCon means a lot, because the pony fandom means a lot to people, and like, the reason why you want to be a community guest, you don't want to do it just for clout, you know?
Don't wanna do it.
You'd be surprised, there have been people that Charlie's even admitted to me saying that there's some applications came in that said, yeah, I just wanted to just be popular.
No, that's a big no.
That's not the right.
Yeah, that's not, and like, these guys up here can attest to, because they've done incredible things in this fandom, and they can, and that, you wonder why they keep getting invited as community guests, because of the content they continue to provide for not only just the con community, but like, outside of the con community as well, what they're doing within the fandom itself. So, that's one of the biggest selling points to con organizers is like, oh, this person's doing a lot of cool things right now. We should invite them as a community guest. And that's kind of how it all starts, is putting yourself out there and putting in the work. Like, so you build your foundation, great. So do you want to build on that foundation, or do you want somebody else to do the work for you? And the answer is, do it yourself. Because a lot of us have worked incredibly hard over the years, and you know, people like AC Racefest and Saberspark, who are like regular juggernauts at pony conventions, they put in a lot of work. They started small, to come as a surprise to a lot of you. They started out small, and look at what they're doing now. I know Saber's moved into the furry fandom as of late. Racefest is still doing racing stuff, and I'm actually an employee of his right now on Low Budget TV. It's been a lot of fun so far, but yeah, I mean, why do those guys keep getting invited? Simply because
They put in the work.
they put in the work, and their panels are still getting well attended. So, you know, it's not saying like that their work has gone in vain. They do incredible work, and like
Saber did not walk through a Toys R Us for the Brody documentary and have his license plate docs to not be a community guest.
Exactly. So
Wait, you mean that they need to get my license plate like ducks for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
AJ7.
And your social security.
298.
So, this question goes out to my other community as colleagues up here is, what has been the biggest thing that you've learned of being a community guest multiple times up to this point, and what have you learned since that time from being just a regular attendee to now being a community guest for a pony convention? I like that answer.
Don't let everyone jump in at once.
Yeah, go.
I don't need a mic, I'm loud as heck.
Oh, that's right.
So, I find that a lot of people will be like, I have the numbers, I have the viewership, I'm popular, why, I'm horse famous, why aren't I a community guest? Because you're I'm sorry for the language, but you're an arrogant asshole. You are in it for the numbers. And
To be fair, Amber, it's 8:30, so I really don't give a damn anymore.
Congratulations, this is now an 18 plus panel.
Yes.
We can say the one word and the damn word and the
everything.
You're good.
Wait,
We're fucking good.
I mean, we're in America. Can I really say the C word?
No.
There's some restrictions.
That's but it's a perfectly fine word. In
We
the
can't
UK.
say cookie anymore.
These fuckers are out there. Oh, that was your phone. These fuckers are out there because they think because they have the numbers, they should be entitled. When in reality, it's about the heart and soul you put into the convention itself. Now, volunteering 100% will get you through, help you get through that door. It won't be a guarantee. However, you'll get to see the behind the scenes. You get to see people who actually care about a convention, who actually want to make sure it's still up and going, because we all want PonyCon to go forever.
Yes.
Sadly, some good things do have to come to a good end, but hey, we lost BrodyCon and we got Sequestria Fest. We lost
Nightmare Nights.
Nightmare Nights, and we got
HarmonyCon.
Thank you. I actually came in pretty late into this fandom, and it's just, I wouldn't say it's something I really learned, because my community focus with the Evergreen Herd is just, we we don't care about the numbers, we don't care about the fame, we want to be all in this together as Prince whatever says. So why not community guests should be about that, and it shouldn't, and it's people who wholeheartedly care. We're not here for the clicks, we're not here for the fame, we're not here for the numbers, we're not here to be like, oh, I'm a, high nose, like know-it-all. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh. We are here to be like, this is your first time at a BronyCon, how can we make it special
Exactly.
for you? I have a lot of friends who are very scared to come to their first convention or like start streaming for the first time or whatever, and I told them, I was like, don't be scared, we're here to help you. And shoot, one of those people was in main events doing a panel with me today. And he was scared shitless 2 years ago by streaming for the first time ever. And I love touching those people's hearts. I worked for Disney, I made the magic there, I love making the magical moments for kids and adults, like I want to spread that here. And that's all I care about. Shit, I wasn't prepared for that.
You just said it.
I was also going to mention, whenever you submit a form, because usually for most cons they're going to actually ask you to submit a form to apply as a community guest. Some conventions are going to ask like, what kind of audience do you have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, do you have people following you on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or feedback?
Yes.
Yeah, my first CG
But
appearance.
not all cons are going to ask for that, but all of the cons are going to ask like, what will you contribute?
Yes.
The whole idea with that is you're going to ask like, because the whole idea with community guests is that they're supposed to be alive at the party at some point. And the whole idea is that you're going to ask like, what can I contribute in terms of events that are going to get people interested? And conventions have to look at it as an investment. So for example, someone who is very famous but doesn't really do anything that can be really done as an event at the convention, which is kind of hard to take a look at. But if the person is just saying like, I'm just going to take photos with people, not even going to run panels, I'm just going to wave and smile, it's not very interesting. Like, what can you contribute to the convention that's going to make it magical to other people? One of the things I usually submit is animation panels, so I can actually talk about animation for the people, so they can actually get to ask questions and actually get the answers that they want. So, which is kind of just a glorified panelist role. But there's also other events that can have to do with other people. You need to think about how can you make the convention better for other people in a way that's more tangible and that the way can actually sell to people. So they're going to ask like, what do you have as a skill that you're going to be able to show? Some people might say instead of just doing a panel, they might have like a booth where people can come and I don't know, maybe it's the booth where you demonstrate the new video game, or demonstrate like martial arts that have something to do with ponies, or I don't know, maybe you are a brony who has a very big interest in retro computing, and you're thinking like, I'm gonna bring Commodore 64 and a CRT, I'm gonna show you how to program your own My Little Pony game in BASIC.
Oh gosh. I mean, you could do
people
worse.
to really type on the freaking clicky
Yes,
keyboard that
you
they
do Excel on a
have,
calculator.
just to get the answer that you'd never be able to get at home. And that's the main thing, because people are going to think, well, there's online events, so what kind of thing you could do in a real person that could be that you're going to really get with that kind of streaming event, because there's that thing at the two. And of course, with community guests, they're going to ask like, what do you want for compensation? And of course, they're going to be much more interested in people who are not asking too much, or something that's good contribution. So, for example, BabsCon from 2017 to 2019, the only contribution that they gave me was that in exchange for doing the animation for the opening ceremonies, they gave me the plane ticket and the rooming. And BabsCon, what they do is they provide the rooming for all the community guests, because they had the block for that, and not all the conventions do that. And you have to be considered for that. Some conventions are going to be able to room people, but they're going to ask like, you're going to have to room with other people to split the bill. Best example I can think of is Crystal Mountain PonyCon, where I ended up rooming with a couple of musicians. And I found it pretty funny, because it's just, hi, you're more famous than me. And of course, with that kind of convention, like, you don't want to cause drama, like you don't want to make it about fame or just get mad at other community guests. Like, you need to make sure that the con just goes smoothly for everyone,
Yes.
So it's a lot of stressful things, but it's one of those things where when you get the hang of it and you know what people want and what you can provide, it goes so much better.
Yes.
I do have a point to add to that, though. May I have the mic?
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Yes. Oh boy.
I don't want to project. I have to do a panel at 12 a.m. So,
But, you know, I do agree. Don't do it for fame, and, you know, don't act like you are the coolest things in sliced bread.
Because sliced bread's way cooler.
However,
I would know. I'm the bread queen.
However, I do want to state this, because I feel like this point gets lost because everyone is so scared of coming off as like, you know, a do you know who I am type of person. Do also keep in mind your well-being and self-worth. Don't contribute so much of yourself that you cannot function as a person. Because at the end of the day, you want to enjoy the convention as well.
Yeah.
And this is that lesson I've been actively bullied to learn. Because don't crack your knuckles at me and then give me a heart.
That's dangerous.
But no, like, you know, because, you know, I vent and I do a lot of panels. I have done sponsor events for the TrotCons, a lot of stuff, and I love doing all these things, but I have come to the realization in the past few years of doing all of these I have batteries, and batteries do not last forever. They need to be, I don't like the amount, it's like everyone's like, but like, you know, because there's some people who are just the Energizer Bunny, like Taylor, or AC, or you, or Foff, or Cole, who are just like, hey, I'm about to do my 16th panel of the weekend. It's Friday night, and I'm having, and you know what? I'm not even drunk. I had a sarsaparilla today. You know, like, and that's great. But do know, and I feel like, you know, Hibiscus, as a fellow vendor, you can understand, we have to, you know, we are prepping for these conventions for weeks on top of trying to provide something to give people a good time, and we're giving people a good time in two different ways, with our wares and then with entertainment.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, and I feel bad for, like, there's some communities like Silver Quill who will have a table, but they have so many events that they go to or that they're a part of, they're barely ever at it, which kind of makes the table like a moot point. So, you know, don't act like you're the vet, like you're some hot shit, but also don't act like you're a cold shit either. You are a perfectly medium warm shit.
Wow.
And know that when you are asking for some things in return, like a very common thing for us vendor guests is to ask for a table comp, or hey, if cons are staffed well enough, can we get a person to watch the table if I'm going to events? Can we not have the panels be back to back to back? Because I like to eat food and sleep. You know, like
Yes.
you are important, not because of the things you do, but for the fact that you are a person, and make sure that that is respected as well. I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to extend themselves to the thinnest of thin for the sake of getting a community guest status. And at the end of the day, no, that's just how you get walked upon by everyone and everything, and not consciously, but, you know, because they think, oh, you're willing to do all this stuff. Okay, that's cool, you know, but you need to respect yourself first, because if you respect yourself, other people will respect you.
Yes.
All right, something I wanted to say. Yes, if you're going to be a community guest, and if you do get accepted, yes, expect that you're going to be so busy, because being a community guest does require a lot of stuff to work on, like how many panels you have, if you're either in the vendors or pretty much. So it will make you a bit very busy, because yes, from my experience so far at this con, working on stuffs and getting things done for a panel and stuff, it makes me a bit tired, and I try to follow the 6-2-1 rule, but 4 hours of sleep. So preparing, yeah, and also don't have to ask too much. Asking too much kind of gets odd, and So when it comes to doing panels, you must know what you really are going to do, and if you're capable of doing it, and pretty much how you're going, like what's the panel about, and how you're going to, how many panelists you would choose, and which will suit for a panel when you're doing for as a community guest. So pretty much you must do a panel that is well skilled for you, that can actually make it easy to host. Either a discussion, gaming, or a presentation panel, pretty much.
Otherwise, you're taking a nap in the con-ops like I did on Friday.
I feel like though there's some community guests, at least being as a guest, just a con goer in the past at different cons. They're a CG, but they'll either be just a vendor or they will just host only one panel and that's it. And that's their contribution to the fandom, and that's also completely okay too.
Yeah, you have to have your
Yes.
comfort level.
Yeah.
I know for me, this is the most panels I've done at one convention. I've been on 5 today, and then I'm on 1 tomorrow, so that's a lot. Usually what I do is, for my community guest role, because I started as a vendor and then entered into community guest with I make reels on YouTube, and TikTok and Instagram, and making up plushies, con vlogs, different things like that, and they got pretty popular. And so what I do is I stay available at my vendor table. If someone has plush thingy prepared, I am always ready to repair their plushies. If someone needs advice about sewing or needs to talk, I'm always there. I really like that being a community guest has gotten a lot of people, to know who you are, so they feel comfortable coming up to you and talking to you. I know at Everfree this year, I got to do a community guest role, which I was really honored to do. I got to make the plushies for the super sponsor boxes, which was really fun. I made 40 or 50 marinas. That was fun. A lot of marinas. And it was just really awesome that after I did my panel, I edit my panel so much. When I'm at home, I'm either working on plushies or panel ideas. So I finished my panel early because I just hadn't planned appropriately. And then the rest of the time, everyone was just coming up and talking to me and telling me their stories about them making plushies or them liking plushies and feeling comfortable to tell me about it. I know I got on the elevator with someone the next morning and they were telling me they had been to my panel and were asking about different types of materials and things like that, and how to sew and everything. And I like to encourage people that you don't need all these fancy supplies. Some people with their nose in the air will tell you, you need this and this and this to start. You really don't, you just gotta go for it. But anyway, I just really like that with, community guest role comes a level of familiarity, it comes a level of people will trust you, and so that you can hopefully help inspire them and help them and everything. And I really just want to, give back and everything. So I'm always available at my vendor table. If you see me walking by, feel free to say hi. I'm always available to chat after my panels and during my panels and everything. So that's one thing I really like about it.
Yes.
Something else to think about is you hear us talking a lot about panels, and obviously one of the quickest ways to get to that point where you are able to apply for a CD status is to apply for panels.
Yes.
And
Yes.
start
Panels.
getting that out there and then start doing what you want to do, because they will get you, to that status if you're there and you're doing tons of, even if you're doing a couple panels, like we said, choose your comfort level, but just showing up. And also knowing what to do if you don't get your application approved.
Don't post about it on Twitter.
It's not just that. Some conventions will ask you, what are your plans if we don't approve you? And is your answer going to be, well, I'm still going to come support the con? Or is it going to be, well, I'm not coming because I didn't get my status approved? Don't be that person. Come anyways. Even if you're just going to do a panel, or you're going to come attend, or you're going to do this or whatever, even if you're just going to attend and you just end up being a regular attendee for that con, come support the con. Because that shows the con that you're willing to just show up regardless.
Unless it's one of those situations where.
Yes, there is, here, I'll take it to the mic.
Obviously, and I feel like this is being kind of obvious, unless the reasoning that being a community guest means you get accommodations that makes travel possible.
Yes.
Because some people Gobi or Fiora or something, have travel stipends or help with, or for vendors, tables, because some cons, not every con prices their table the same. And some cons are muy caliente with their vendor table prices, and or help with the hotel, like the shared rooming and stuff.
Right.
Because we all have jobs, we do the work and everything, and with some of us, some people have 9 to 5s that you have to take days off from. So at the end of the day, like you can still support the con, like tweet about it, being like, hey, if people are going home, we have a fun time, all this stuff. And if you can go, I highly encourage, but don't break your wallet, okay?
Yes.
And that's just also general advice as a con goer. Don't put yourself in debt.
Yes.
Just in general, don't put yourself in debt. I think that's a smart thing to say.
I didn't know you could ask for that stuff. I just asked for the badge for my badge collection.
Right?
You were adding on with that, and I know I said Twitter, like just blatantly don't post about it on Twitter, but there's 2 reasons to that. One, you're ruining the magic of keeping that suspense of who the community guest lineup is going to be this year.
Yes.
That kind of sucks. Like when I start seeing posts of people be like, I applied for CG and I didn't make it, and I'm like, well, that sucks. Like now I know you're not gonna maybe not be there. But 2, convention staff and
they watch what you post.
Twitter, they see that, they see what you post, and you're just further and further digging that grave for yourself to never being on as a CG or a panelist or a vendor or a volunteer or anything like that ever again. So yes, it's disappointing, but first talk to a family member, talk to your partner, talk to a friend privately. Don't
vent privately.
Vent privately.
Talk to your therapist. Get therapy if you don't have it. But it's good to talk about it, yes, but don't ruin the surprise and the magic.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
For everybody else.
I'm allowed to say bing bong.
The best example is
Bing bong. Bing. You gotta sing it now.
No.
Who's your pal that likes to play?
Bing bong,
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Yeah.
I love the deaf player you're giving me right now.
I was getting that, and Cosmic, I thank you for pointing that out too, yes, because I was getting that, yeah. If you're in a position where you need something to, get to the con or whatever, then it's hard to get that rejection. But supporting, and also just, what I find is nice about, like we were talking about the Twitter thing, also like that's just further negativity that's getting put out there into the world. And as a community guest, another thing that you got to think about is how do I exemplify what the community is supposed to represent? And you kind of have to be that person. I'm the kind of guy, I go to a con and I'm the person asking the con chair, hey, can I help you with something? Do you need help? At Winning City this year, obviously for those who are at Winning City, there were a lot of Christmas trees that were situated within there. One of the volunteers needed help with moving the Christmas trees. My daughter and I were available, and I said, okay, let's go. We moved all these Christmas trees around. We were waiting for opening ceremonies. She and I were just sitting there, and the con chair, Charlie, he's just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And I stop him, and I'm like, Charlie, can I help you? Do you need help with something? Do you need us to do something? He goes, no, you guys just need to sit there. That's your job. I said, Charlie, my job is to be a really good community member. I said, and that includes helping you. So what do you need help with? And eventually he was like, oh, yeah, okay, can you come help me with this? And I said, thank you for asking me because I wanted to come help you. So also just do that. Just be helpful to people. Just offer your help. If you see somebody, especially if you're that kind of person as a con who's always going up and noticing people in distress or something like that and going, hey, can I help you with this? Or can I help you with something? That also gets seen and they notice that. So.
Be the leader that people want you to be at conventions.
Yes.
Yeah, always help your local con chair across the street. Deep down, they're all like 80-year-olds who are tired, especially Charlie.
Facts.
We need to next Winnie City. We should all get together and give Charlie like a rocking chair. A rocking chair, a little shawl, a cane, and just be like, here, we'll put it right in the middle of the main stage, and he can just rock.
We are doing this now.
Well,
This is
back in
happening.
my old days, conventions were not like that. We didn't have smartphones like you kids.
Give them a puzzle.
Oh, wait. What are those like Cracker Barrel, like, you know, chess?
Yes! We'll give him Sudoku so he can be the true dad that he's meant. I mean, look, I love Charlie to bits. The camping theme did not do him any favors with looking like a dad that keeps rocking the socks with sandals and cargo shorts.
Absolutely.
He just needed like he should have taken a picture with Taylor while rocking that fit so it looks like a dad being super supportive of their son.
Missed opportunity.
We need to get him a sweater vest and a pipe.
Yes. Just the Mr. Rogers look.
Yeah.
The red sweater.
So the other way that you want to be a community guest is bullying the con chair.
Yeah.
Relentlessly.
Cosmic, do you want to say hi to him?
Why? Is he on? Is he
No, I
watching?
mean I can record it too.
Oh.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie. We love you.
We're gonna get we'll get you a rocking chair for Cider Fest, Dad. It's okay.
And a puzzle.
We'll get you one of those motor scooters, and you can we'll get one with a horn so you can honk at the con goers.
Just get on an electric scooter so you can run over everybody's toes.
Oh, that would be great.
Don't worry, Ahsoka will handle everything.
That she will.
We have some.
Oh,
And it's going instantly too.
Good.
I feel like we've given
Excellent.
like 2% advice at this panel so far.
Yes.
I learned that chicken nuggets.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
96% chicken nuggets.
Sorry, I've just been existing up on this panel up to this point.
I took a nap for part of it.
But everybody pretty much made all their points up here is the pros and cons of what to do and what not to do as like a.
It's worth noting, you gotta be professional. That doesn't mean you can't have fun.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole point of being a community guest is to bring the life to the convention in a way that feels comfortable.
Look at Amber.
Like, for example, whenever you go to TrotCon and you see an actor from a series that you really like, and you see that actor actually break from the the norms, or you have the actor being very serious about his material, just talk. Not having the right to have fun with the material he's working on. Like, we have the opportunity to have fun and actually make it more, more appealing to people. And the best example I can think of was at Comic Con like last week. They had some actors from Star Trek just having the fun of their life, just pointing out all these silly things that they had to do.
I mean, look at Vincent during this con. The dude is a firecracker.
Yeah.
Giles.
Yes.
My God.
Oh, Giles is a delight. I remember Giles and Bill going into the After Dark hall at Cider Fest. Let me tell you, they were the funniest people on the planet because the sheer excitement in their face at seeing these boobs and butts.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I don't think Giles was ever in an AD hall before that. But it was they're great. You gotta have fun, but be professional. Don't miss your pet. Don't be a Metallica a green M&M person and
A Debbie Downer.
Destroy your hotel room. Get mad if you don't get the amount of sales or attendee numbers that you thought you were going to have.
Yes.
Don't be late for your own panels.
Yeah,
Yes,
be on time.
Be on time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops, I already broken that rule. It's funny because it wasn't at this con, it was at other cons.
Yes.
But it's okay. They love me anyway.
Lots of responsibility, but lots of fun and lots of helping
And
people.
pretty much be well prepared. And
It's you say well prepared, but I think one thing that's also very good is just being good at improvising, because sometimes
Absolutely.
They don't want to roll with
Expect
the punches.
difficulties.
Improvising and laughing at yourself. You have to be able to laugh at yourself and your mistakes.
like yesterday I had a panel which was basically just premiering one of my projects, and that was it. And I asked can we have 30 minutes and that's it? And they just gave me an hour block. So I thought, I need to fill the 30 minutes with something to just keep people entertained, because I can't just leave a room there. We're paying for the room no matter if people are going to be there or not. Con, so let's make it worth it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking with the con, like, let's make every second count, even if it doesn't need to be like high octane events, like make stuff fun.
Exactly. I mean, I remember at this is not a PonyCon, but MomoCon, which is a big anime convention in Atlanta. I'm actually a VIP at that convention, and oh, is that the brag train?
Brag train.
I'm tooting my own horn. No, but you know, I'm a guest there, and I was having a panel with Paleo Steno. We know Paleo.
Yes.
And I like the one person who was like, yes, I do know the Dolphin Man. And we were doing Cartoon Jeopardy. And for like the first 20 minutes of the panel time, they had to do IT fixes because something was wrong with the connecting to the thing. So I had to vamp for 20 minutes by singing, because the mics were working. So me and the audience just started singing cartoon theme songs for 20 minutes. And then my most practical piece of advice is always expect that the con will not have the cable that you said you needed.
Yes.
Yes.
Or something.
And that's not the con's fault, because they have usually like 3 different panel rooms. So maybe they do have the cable, but not for the time that you need it. So always just be prepared for something to happen. And that's not being pessimistic, that's being careful.
Yes.
I can think of it because of my first mistake, my very first pony panel in TrotCon 2013. Turns out that the HDMI cable was there, it was just too short to reach the table. So I had to run back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and change slides. And I was thinking at first, well, I could just have something while I just change slides. So I have more complicated stuff to do too. The panel was a disaster, but I realized the next one, like, let's just do a thing where I just talk about the things without having to worry too much about the technical stuff. At HarmonyCon 2022, we had like 30 minutes just waiting for the sound to work for another panel. And I was thinking, I got my laptop, we got visuals working. What if I just open scenes and show just the behind the scenes to just show people like how Toon Moon works, and people had a good time.
I have 2 instances that happened at this convention. So first one, one was today at the event. Who was all at the Bluey panel?
Made me cry.
I delivered food to the Bluey fan.
I had a PowerPoint presentation that's supposed to have this really cute title card, and then autoplay into the episodes, and then do like a final like thank you like end credit scene. And we were struggling to get Microsoft PowerPoint open, so I point to Wave Swirl and Taylor, and I'm like, improv, I'm gonna do technical work. And we made it work. And then halfway through the Bluey panel, the audio had a glitch that I didn't catch, and it was overlapping in the audio with the video, so it wasn't syncing correctly. So we had to, unfortunately, scrap all that and then go episode by episode, but we still made it work. Was anyone out watching paint dry?
Yes.
Yep.
At the very end, we were making a very special showing of cupcakes.
Yeah.
And then my mouse accidentally clicked the next slide button and it ended everything. And I was like, oh my, and I'm like, my world's on fire, but you know what? You guys have been great. We're gonna show cupcakes anyway. And then I pulled it up on YouTube and you guys went nuts.
Yeah.
And it was great. So expect technical difficulties and expect them to not go the right way and maybe expect longer than expected. But you know what? The more positive vibe and the improvisation that you bring to the crowd, like to keep them entertained, will keep them here. If you're just gonna consistently stress and worry and be like, I'm so sorry, that's gonna cause the people to walk out the door.
Yes.
Oh gosh, one time I don't remember which panel it was, which con it was, but it was either BabsCon or Everfree. I deleted all my panel notes during my panel.
Oh no!
I reached across my screen and my arm happened to hit delete and I had to figure out how to get it back. And so I'm just like, trying to say what I remember while I'm desperately getting my notes back. And like, I made it fun for everyone. It was a big laughing moment, but yeah, only I could delete my panel during my panel.
That's clever.
Yes, most conventions do have Wi-Fi. I think I remember back at a convention in Florida where I actually forgot my hotspot and I was running a Jackbox panel and I kind of didn't got well prepared, and I was always some conventions do have Wi-Fi, but some of them may not be the greatest when you're trying to host a panel that requires the internet. So when that happens, I always have like a backup plan, which is using personal hotspots. I actually kind of saved Amber's panel, a Jackbox panel yesterday, using my hotspot. So all I can say is you should always have a backup plan whenever something didn't go well.
In reality, if you're doing a panel that requires internet, have your hotspot ready.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question for all of you guys. What has been, over your course of being panelists, community? Don't X me.
You are really just like, good job.
So over your time of being like a panelist, community guest, I know some people started as panelists, became community guests, whatever. What has been your favorite panel that you've done over the course of your time?
I got it. Wait, I don't even need a mic.
You don't need a mic.
Wait, after dark or not after dark?
It could be any.
Okay.
So essentially, yes.
Wicked carding. Woo! Here's why. First off, I'm not an alcoholic when I say that. This was an idea that I feel at the time was not a copy paste of something else. Because if you realize, actually I'm the co-head of panel programming. There's a lot of you who submitted a lot of the same thing. Me, Taylor, and Wasteworld submitted a Bluey panel. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of us who submitted a Jackbox panel.
Same.
There's a couple who submitted a bunch of the same panels. So I was consistently trying to contact people. Hey, do you guys want to work together instead of having two separate panels? Yeah. Right? So that's the story of that. Wicked Karting was one of those original ideas that popped into my head, and I just met Brass Scribe at the time. This was right after Winnie City. And I was like, hey, let's do a drunk Mario Kart tournament together. And we were on board. And we brought it to Ponyville Cider Fest for the first time in 2022, and it was standing room only. It went that crazy, and it got so crazy that we ID'd Prince whatever at the door, and he couldn't get in because he didn't have his ID. Mm-hmm. But it was and people would walk out of main events, and they'd be like, where's that screaming coming from? And security would be like, it's drunk Mario Kart at the Trotter's room. And it was one of my favorite panels because we get it so hyped up and everyone looks forward to it. And yes, who doesn't love a good drink, obviously. But we also... when we were deciding to do prizes for the top 3 contestants, we really put some heart and soul into it, and I loved doing that, picking out the prizes for all the guests, making them unique. Winnie, we were let's start reaching out to vendors. So we looked at the vendors who weren't getting a lot of sales, who were getting a lot of attention. We're like, hey, let's help promote you. And it's amazing because we're helping that vendor community and encouraging people to go to the vendor hall. But we were also really doing this out of love. I can be 100% sober for this panel, and I love every aspect of it. I am stoked to bring it in an hour and 45 minutes?
Something like that.
Yeah, or no, 2 hours and 45 minutes in that room. It'll start at 11:45 tonight. This is TrotCon's first Wicked Party. And I am stoked, I am ecstatic, and that is why it's my favorite panel.
Mm-hmm. All right, Volt.
So I've done a lot of fan fiction panels and a lot of stuff, but honestly, it's what I did this weekend, and it was a first for me. For those of you who may not know, I ran a live stage D&D one-shot on Friday.
Wait, really?
Yeah. with our guest of honor and one of our community guests, who's not here. But it was a first for me, and honestly, it's going to become something I'm going to probably take to other conventions and try and promote there. And honestly, it was super fun. Everybody had a great time, and it was not easy to do at all. I had been working on that since December, and getting it all ready and put together, and all the logistics that goes into it's not just playing D&D. You have to think about, well, what supplies do I need? What, how do I, instruct, how do I print off all this stuff? Do I have to have, pencils? What's my table setup look like? Is there a camera for this? All that stuff. How are the guests going to react? Do the guests know anything about the game? In this case, I had 3 guests of ours who had never played D&D before in their entire life.
Yes.
And we had to give them a crash course on how to play D&D right before. That was how quickly they picked it up, though. So, yeah. Giles parents decided to just do so many inanimate objects, it was not fun. But I'm going to do it some more because I'm a huge D&D nerd and I love that kind of stuff. And it has been my dream for a long time to try and do that kind of thing where I run like a live stage show. And I had a blast with it, and I'm definitely going to do it some more.
What about you, Taylor?
Which one is not my favorite? That's the question.
Valid.
So I actually have 2 in this instance. So the first one is I run a panel called Glimmergate Unleashed.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
I debuted it at Everfree Northwest in 2022, I want to say. And it was the same year that Kelly Sheridan was at the convention. So the panel got approved. I'm like, okay, we can get the Glimmer cult going here and seeing how many people we can get in attendance. So it's day 0. And I find out, I was talking with Scott, who was who's the hotel liaison for the convention. He said, "Are you excited about Kelly Sheridan being here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am, of course." And he said, "Well, did you know she's going to be on your panel on Sunday?" Scott, could you repeat that? I think I went blind for just a second. And he told me, yeah, Kelly Sheridan wants to be at your panel on Sunday for Glimmergate Unleashed. I'm like, okay, cool. That threw a wrench in my plans for the weekend. So we get around to Sunday, and I remember she was just getting out of her autograph session when the panel got started. So I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to do the panel, and I'm going to be like, she's going to walk through those doors any second, and I'm going to be fainting and seeing God in like 5 seconds when she walks in. So her handler comes walking in through the side doors, and I'm like, you know what would be funny if Kelly Sheridan actually showed up to this panel right now, and here she comes walking through the door, and she's like, hi guys, I'm just here to be here for a second, and I heard that you were having a panel about Best Pony, and I'm like, yeah, we're celebrating Sassy Saddles over here.
Oh, wow.
I kidded, of course, and then Kelly said, so Taylor, I have a present for you. I'm like, oh, okay. And she said, so I was strolling around the vendor hall, and I found something that I think you would really like. And I'm thinking, oh, this is probably a pin or a badge or something. She presents me a toilet paper cover of Starlight Glimmer and literally hands it to me on stage, and it literally has toilet paper in it.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, Kelly Sheridan just handed me toilet paper. This is my greatest accomplishment ever in my life.
Was it the discerning Starlight face?
Yeah, the I see thing. And so that's how I knew Kelly Sheridan then. So we actually message each other once in a while now. She messages me first now these days, and I'm like,
do you hear the train, Taylor? Toot toot.
Toot toot.
Yes. And so it's just been an interesting experience with Kelly because now she's apparently a fan of me compared to me being a fan of her. So that's something.
She's a wonderful lady.
And then, yeah, she is absolutely wonderful.
Kelly, come over here.
Right?
Yeah.
Please come.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Kelly?
And she was here the
Walk
whole
right in the door.
time.
And the second favorite panel, it's lately become my favorite panel to run. It's my little match game.
Yeah.
And like some of you know this panel up to this point, and so it was 2023 at Winnie City, and some of you in the audience, you were there for that panel and knew what the horrors that went down for that one. So I found out from Charlie and Michelle that they don't do a lot of panels for conventions, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble here and see if they want to be a part of my panel. And they agreed to be on my little match game that year, and so they were the panelists who had to write down the answers for match game. And so I get down to a prompt, and I asked the contestant strictly for the answer to that prompt. And they basically said, lubricant. And automatically thinking, my inner Christian self is like, I can't come to myself and just be like asking a concierge for lube.
Oh, God.
And the initial reaction, like,
It's in your contract. That's one of your accommodations.
And so I look at Michelle because she's like the first one to go up, and I looked at her in the eyes and said, Michelle, we are looking for lube. And Charlie's reaction just looks at me like, and he's like he's about to kill me. Like, why are you asking my wife for lube, Taylor? And at that moment, I'm just like, my soul is just like leaving my body at this very second.
Yes.
Because, yeah, we're talking about car lubricant here. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, of course. But then I'm like, oh, God, this panel is never going to come back for Winnie City. And then I find out from Charlie saying, hey, my little match game is coming back for Winnie City. And I'm like, really? After I scarred you all last year? Cool! And then he asked me again saying, Taylor, can we please be back on this panel for Winnie City this past year? And I said, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So they got to be contestants this year for Winnie City. And listen, I love these two to death.
Yeah.
And they couldn't give out a dirty answer for the life of them. Even though Charlie looked at me a few times like, I'm gonna kill you on this panel. And like, so when it came down to like the last round and Charlie looks at most of everybody that's a panelist and saying, if you all don't match with me, your community guest statuses are in jeopardy here. And I'm like, as the host, like, okay, my job is safe up here. But no, it's been a lot of fun getting to do a lot of these panels at conventions and seeing how many people have been appreciating what I've been able to do, even though it's taxing at times because running panels is not easy, but at the end of the day, as long as people are having fun and they're enjoying themselves, hey, that's my paycheck at the end of the day. So
Along with the weirdly big winnings you get at the Las Vegas airport.
yeah, that too. That's just luck.
That's
Rock.
just Vegas, baby.
Yep. AC.
So far, I'll make this short because of time. I think one of my favorite ones is the one at BabsCon, Cards Against Ponies 18 plus.
Oh boy.
But that con was pretty much my premiere, though, in giving out all these these panelists. It's just trying to be so unhinged and pretty much getting all the funny answers whenever using the custom deck and using it using custom answers to it. Just doing that is just like, wow, I kind of make everyone laugh. Because I wanted all the panelists to enjoy, the audience to enjoy, and I never thought that that panel would go very well. Pretty much the favorite part of that panel is you.
Aww.
Yeah, that part. If you know, you know, Taylor.
Considering I'm like the butt of the joke half the time on these panels.
Flashback to contacts.
And you remember the time when you said, oh gosh, the Friends part, Minty, remember?
I'm trying to see if I can make this.
Pretty much. And the second favorite is pretty much the SFM Pony Nostalgia. It was great because definitely needed a co-panelist. I would like to thank Sour for hosting it earlier. It's just showing a lot of SFM videos and nostalgia videos that deserve people to make everyone enjoy and laugh and watch
Still
them.
looks handsome in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it to short, yeah.
All right, my favorite panel, I talked about it a little bit earlier, but my sewing panel at Everfree, that was a big memory because like, it was really fun. Little Shy gave me some Twilight plushies to throw out into the audience, which was really fun, everyone getting those. And then like, everyone was super interactive with like the showing off of the different plushie makers. And then at the very end, we ended really early. And then we ended up almost going over because people just were coming up to share with me their plush making stories, which was just like amazing. Or like their stories with having plushies or just like sharing with me about their life. It was just so much fun. And then actually earlier we had a panel where one of the vendors that was going to do the panel ended up not being able to, and so we ended up, me and a few other plush makers in the vendor hall, we took it over for them and made sure that it was taken care of, and we got their notes and presented them and everything, and it was just fun, like, picking the minds of other plush makers and getting to talk to them and also getting to help out a fellow vendor. And so that was really fun, and I actually kind of want to do that in the future and do like more plush maker Q&As because it was just fun. Everyone was really asking good questions, and it was just a really good time. And I'm glad we were able to turn that around and make it a really good time, even though it was an unexpected panel.
Hi, Viscus, I have a great idea for a plushie panel for you.
Oh gosh, what you got?
Plushie battles. Everyone brings their plushies and we put them on top of Roombas. Last
Yes! Yes!
Battles, let's go!
But what about you, Minty?
Honestly, backstory for that, I did a panel with Wayne Time, DJ Delta, Viva Ravery, and Dr. Wolf. Wayne Time was expecting us to all just fight because we're all at very varying views on how to do videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
It turned out to be kind of lame. Not a lot happened. And then it dawned on me from that idea, like, what if we do a panel where we take 2D animators and we line them up with 3D animators? So I pitched for BroadCon 2018, 2D versus 3D ponies. And the whole idea was very simple, because we didn't have a lot of panels where we had both 2D and 3D animators together. So finally getting them to face and just banter at each other, I was thinking, hey, it's probably gonna be fun. The audience loved the whole thing. It was one of the most active audiences I've ever had. And just being able to just poke fun at the fact that, for example, all the things you could poke fun at for the 3D animators, and then they could poke fun at us back.
Yeah.
It was just fun. It was also the kind of ranty stuff that we can just cover as animators. So just the idea that we could cover that without having to worry too much about the filter, because we want to make animation appealing to people. And we just scream and just have the most crazy things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll answer mine. I was the one who asked the question. I've been on quite a few panels and been on quite a few panels over the years. I have like You Suck and Why That's Okay, which I want to bring back, which is getting started and all that stuff, and learning that it's okay to not be the absolute best at first, and all that. I've been on Cruise Line, Is It Anyway, with this show, and I love the bits. But my favorite panel that I've ever done is the one that has become, I think, the one I'm known for, which is Smash Your Pass Debate Club, which I premiered at Winnie City, and then when I brought it to Trot, because it did good at Winnie City, and then when I brought it to Trot in 2023, it was standing in this room, standing room only, and that was the first time I've ever had that at a convention, and it was the most mind-blowing feeling. And also, I feel so bad at Cyberfest last year. It was standing room only, but if you've been to the Cyberfest hotel, there's the Hoofwork room, so the room in the back.
No, the fizzy room.
The best room.
But I felt so bad because it was standing room only, and I remember one of the people saying that the smell of that panel did not leave.
Oh.
That's not my fault. But it was one of those things where I was like, oh no. Also, I'm pretty sure someone was drinking out of a rubbing alcohol bottle at that panel.
Oh no.
Which means one of three things. One, they were drinking rubbing alcohol. Two, they emptied out a rubbing alcohol bottle and put alcohol in it. Or three, there is a provider of alcohol that makes their bottles look like that, and I don't like either of the options. But yeah, Smash Pass Debate Club is my favorite. But I asked this question because I thought this was a good way to show how passionate everyone is about the things they're interested in, and that's the big thing to want to be a community guest and want to contribute to cons, is sharing what you love and how the fandom lets you express that love of that thing, and sharing that with everyone. The main part of community guest is not guest.
I just love the expressions on somebody else's
Somehow, Palpatine returned to Ohio. Okay.
Unlimited power!
Unlimited power! I am the Senate!
But to just wrap up the thing I was saying, the main part of the phrase community guest is not guest, it's community.
Yes.
And you can sit down onto a pillow But, you know, we want to share what we love, because we also know you love things like crafting or animation or Starlight Glimmers. And we want you guys to be able to be open and celebrate, because we know a lot of you are introverts, and this is the place to not be that way. We can be awkward together.
So with that being said, guys, I know we ran over, but I want to appreciate everyone for coming out just so you want to be a community guest. I want to thank all my community guest colleagues up here for being wonderful. Yes. So,
Stay if you want to hear us talk about Ohio.
yes.
Say if you want to hear shit talking about Ohio.
Yeah.
Woo!